Hey everybody, it's GoblinX and welcome back to some more Magic Green, and today we're going to be playing another flashback premiere draft of Phyrexia All Will Be One. Kind of an older set now. I think it's been a few years since this came out. It's one of the more aggressive draft formats we've ever had. Not the most balanced either. There's a lot of people that strongly dislike it because it's very aggressive and there's pretty big color imbalance between like green way at the top, blue way at the bottom. But I think it has some really fun mechanics with the oil counters as well as some toxic stuff going on, so you can try to poison your opponents out, proliferating to go with that toxic. And yeah, it's got some pretty fun decks to draft. Personally, a big fan of like blue-white artifacts with cards like Eye of Malcator. But yeah, we'll just get into it here. This pack we have some pretty decent blue spells here. The Spell Dancer and the Tamio's Immobilizer. The only issue with taking one of these right off the bat is that it is going to be taking a card in the weakest color in the set. But when that card is much stronger than everything else, I think that's perfectly reasonable. 2 mana for a 2/1 that can't be blocked is already just a really good rate, and this might be able to also copy some instants and sorceries later in the game, which is where it gets really absurd. For pick number 2 now, the Hex Gold Halberd and the Barbed Batterfist were both really nice cards. The 4 Mirrodin equipment were all great in this format. They come with a 2/2 creature auto-equipped with these, so they're a good way for aggressive Boros decks to have some late-game longevity to them, similar to the mechanic in Final Fantasy, the Job Select mechanic, if you remember that. So I think those are pretty reasonable. We've also got Planar Disruption for great removal out of white, or we could just stick to blue, taking Unctus's Retrofitter. Not the most flexible card ever, because you do need to be running a good amount of artifacts for it, but it is very powerful when you are running enough artifacts. Particularly good with 4 Mirrodin equipment, because they don't have the biggest buffs ever, so turning one of those into a 4/4 instead of an equipment is usually pretty great. I like taking the Retrofitter here. Blue-white is my favorite blue deck in the whole set, and our first pick was a great blue rare, so if I can end up there, I'd be pretty happy, and the Retrofitter would be a great card for blue-white. Pick number 3 now, we have Hex Gold Slash, which is absurdly efficient removal in the set. 1 red mana for an instant to deal 2 to a creature. It's a really aggressive format, so there are plenty of 2 toughness or less creatures to shoot, but it also does 4 damage to creatures with Toxic, so it can kill some beefy Toxic creatures as well. These blue commons and uncommons are certainly weaker this time around, but we could still take something like Atmosphere, Surgeon, or Synthesizer, I suppose, because the rest of the pack isn't insanely good, but I think that the Hex Gold Slash is just miles away the best card, so we'll have to take that a little speculatively there. Pick number 4, Chimney Rabble. This was a pretty big overperformer in the set. It just looks decent, but the fact that it plays your offense and defense at the same time, it gets damage in immediately and spits out that nice little chump blocker for you, was just exceptionally nice, to where it will be better than any of the other cards in this pack. Let's grab a Chimney Rabble. Pick number 5, there's an Eye of Malcator. This card's pretty narrow. It has to be in a deck full of artifacts, but it is quite strong, again, in like that blue-white artifacts type build. Here, after taking a Hex Gold Slash and a Chimney Rabble, there's a chance we try to go for some weird blue-red artifacts hybrid deck. If we did that, we'd want to take a bunch of, again, 4 Mirrodin equipment out of the red half of the deck. Now that said, Eye of Malcator, while it is in one of the colors we've already started drafting, so it's good in that sense, it's inflexible in the sense that it forces us to draft a bunch of artifacts and stuff, whereas some card like Evolving Adaptive, you just need to draft creatures, and this card's going to be absurdly good. So I think Evolving Adaptive is the highest power level card in the whole pack, and it's less of a build around than the Eye of Malcator. I think we do need to stay open. It's early in the draft. It's only pick 5 here. We are by no means completely locked in on blue, and seeing a pick 6 Contagious Vorak is a great sign for green. Even the Oil Gorger Troll plays pretty decently, particularly in green-red, because you have a lot of creatures that have oil counters like Evolving Adaptive and like well, I guess that's the only one we've seen so far, but there's like a 2 mana 1/3 in red that comes with oil counters. There's a lot of random stuff. So this can pretty consistently gain you the life try the card, which is good. But Vorak's still better because it's completely consistent. It will always give you value when it enters the battlefield. I suppose technically you might not have any counters on the board and not see a single land in the top 4, but that is incredibly unlikely. Alright, what do we got now? Pick number 7, a second Chimney Rabble is great. I also do like Furnace Strider at the top end of my aggressive red curves. This comes out as a 5 mana 4/5 haste and gives another creature haste later, so Strider's pretty nice. Skywarden's also decent, just a big, beefy, hard to block body. It's also really good at blocking, it's got reach. But Chimney Rabble, OP, please nerf. Pick number 8's green and the red are drawing up now. The Plague Nurse is a build around for toxic strategies trying to poison their opponents out, which is not what green and red are trying to do. Toxic as a mechanic is heavily represented primarily in green, white, and black. There's basically no toxic in red. I really don't like anything in this pack all that much. Speculate on a Vanish into Eternity, I guess, as potential removal. Pick 9, the Spore Stinger, a super filler creature. Free from Flesh is kind of fun in the right deck. It's very strong on an Evolving Adaptive, so if we manage to draft multiple Evolving Adaptives, that does make Free from Flesh kind of absurd. But I think Tamu's Immobilizer, again, is more just flexibly powerful. If you're just playing blue at all, then this card is going to be great. Even if you don't proliferate a single time, tapping something 4 times is very long in a set as aggressive as this. Pick 10, Barbed Batterfist. Love to see that. That'll be an excellent inclusion to green-red or blue-red. I think red is going to be the glue holding this draft together right now, giving us our 2 different directions to go. Pick 11. Some booty, some butt. Take the synthesizer, I guess. Pick 12, Dune Mover, very filler 2-drop that can fix our mana in terms of what land we're going to draw on the next turn. Alright, pack 2, pick 1. We did not open any good red or green, which is awkward. I guess Oil Gorger Troll is, again, okay in green-red, because usually you end up with enough oil stuff, but we still only have 1 oil card if we go green-red. I guess if we went blue-green, we'd have more oil, weirdly enough. It's 3 oil cards out of blue. But we're only 2 cards deep into green, 4 into red, 4 into blue. The red cards are definitely the best ones we have, I feel. I mean, the blue's not good in this pack either. Maybe we just take, like, Ichor Plate Golem? We have some... Yeah, we have some oil nonsense in a couple different colors, so this could end up being decent. Kind of a strange pack. Yeah, we'll go for the Golem, I guess. Oh, that's a bummer right there. Glissa is one of the strongest rares in the entire set. It's really, really hard to beat this. You basically can't do it without a removal spell, because First Strike and Death Touch on a 3-power creature means if you're trying to beat this in combat, you need to block it with at least 4 creatures, which is absolutely insane. So you cannot block it well. You have to just keep chumping, or they're going to keep drawing cards off of her or blowing stuff up. Gliss is ridiculously good, but this is not a draft I think we can pivot onto her. We would have to ditch so many of our picks that we wouldn't end up with a deck with enough cards, even if I took a green or black card every other pick for the rest of the draft. It would be cutting it really close. I think I'm just going to take a second Hex Gold Slash. That is certainly disappointing, though. Pick 3, Axiom Engraver. Plays pretty well. Rustvine Cultivator's also perfectly fine. Blue Sun's Twilight is a powerful bomb for a blue deck. We are, again, still only 2 cards deep on that green. That said, blue-red is, in theory, like a spell-slinging sort of deck. Don't think that's really what our blue and our red are doing here. But if we build with enough synergy the right way, we can still build it whatever direction we want. We can go that more Unctus's Retrofitter, artifact-heavy kind of direction. Yeah, I'm going to take Blue Sun's Twilight. It's the highest upside for sure. Card's insane if you resolve it for 7. Steal their best permanents and get a copy of it. I guess their best creature only, but still. Pick four. Pick four. Malcator's Watcher is great with Unctus's Retrofitter. It's also just a reasonable chump blocker early in the first place, so I do enjoy that. Transplant Theorist is fine if we're going really artifact heavy. We're already on double 4-drop, and if I see any more Chimney Rabbles, I'm just going to keep scooping those up. Yeah, I'll take the Malcator's Watcher on this one. Pick number 5. Nothing much here. The best cards are certainly the toxic cards, Crawling Chorus and Stinging Hive Master, these little toxic bodies that replace themselves with a Might. But obviously our deck is not really in that direction. This set is way too fast for cards like Tamio's Logbook, generally speaking, so I guess I just go with a Bring the Ending for filler counterspell. Pick number 6, blue is wide open. This could be a good Eye of Malcator deck if we just draft multiple Eyes of Malcator. They synergize into each other pretty well. You just keep scrying towards the next eye and just beating down for 4 a turn. I do love me some Eye of Malcator decks. They're pretty fun, and I'm going to go for that here and grab the Eye. Pick number 7. Shrapnel Slinger is a filler 2-mana artifact creature, so it can trigger our Eyes. It's something to buff up with our Retrofitter as well. Pick number 8, Prophetic Prism is another random artifact for Retrofitter. Definitely like it better than Molten Rebuke, and it could help us get a splash in. Something shows up that looks really splashable and powerful. Chrome Prowler's fine. It's good synergy for, again, the Eye of Malcator. Lets you activate the Eye at instant speed and have a surprise blocker they weren't expecting. Gataxian Raptor, the ability to flip its power and toughness around kind of at any points, makes it a pretty flexible flyer. A lot of just solid stuff here. Here's the Axiom Engraver, which is great in the late game. Make sure you don't flood out, ditch your extra lands to draw more spells. Got a very reasonable blue-red deck here, but blue-red is... I don't remember the win rates of everything in this set at all. It's been way too long, but I feel as though blue-red is just about the weakest archetype in the entire set. But I think we have a pretty powerful collection of cards for it. Alright, pack 3. I'm 21 cards deep into this deck, so I don't need too many more playables to be able to start cutting our most filler and maybe actually having a really strong deck. Grab a third Hexgold Slash, that's definitely a possibility here. Or we grab a second Barbed Batterfist, which would also be fantastic. The Churning Reservoir, I think, is a bit slow for this deck. We don't have a ton of great synergy for it. Yeah, it's certainly Hexgold Slash or Barbed Batterfist here. I think I just want to take the Hexgold Slash, but I am a big fan of Batterfist. It's a little sad to pass it up. Pack 3, pick 2. Skitterfang just has kind of ridiculous abilities. 3 oil counters on it. Beginning of combat on your turn, remove an oil counter from it. Give somebody Flying, Vigilance, Death Touch, or Lifelink each turn. So drop in a bunch of extra damage without even having to spend mana on using that ability. Yeah, we'll take a Skitterfang. Pack 3, pick 3. Sawblade Scamp for getting in real quick. Slinger for another artifact, or Furnace Punisher for a menacey threat. Got a lot of 3s right now. I'll go for a Sawblade Scamp here. Get that curve started very early. Pick 4. Another Barbed Batterfist is beautiful. Satyr, Escaped Experiment, Batterfist is just way better than that. Strider and Fish are a little slow at 5 mana. Pick number 5 now. Serum Snare was a solid bounce piece of interaction. Great with like Ichor Synthesizer. Anything that has oil counters to proliferate. Yeah, I don't mind it. Pick 6. Okay, Mind Splice Apparatus is not going to do anything. But Volshock Splitter's fine. 4 mana for 4/2, and we can move that equipment around wherever we need it. Definitely not a Prophetic Prism deck. Love the augury bring the ending stuff. I think we're playing to the board as much as we can. Here's another Batter Fist. I like Raptor as well. I think Batter Fist is super good at 2. I'm going to take Batter Fist and stay more artifact heavy for our eye and our retrofitter. Chrome Prowler, Malcator's Watcher look reasonable here. Get another Malcator's Watcher. I think I'm cutting these on the right. I will not be playing any of these. Let's rare draft. 16 land special. It's good to me. And this is a set that was aggressive enough that these lands that look like they'd be pretty decent in almost any other set were actually just oftentimes worse than just playing an untapped land. It's interesting. Might still try it out here. But they were certainly not high picks at all, at the very least. Alright, well, we got a full deck. We got a 16 lander here. We do have one 7-drop. We have a blue Sun's Twilight. That spell's still going to be really powerful at lower mana values, but it does really want to hit 7, so kind of awkward for a 16 lander. Still think I like that though with average mana value 2.5. Stay really spell heavy this way. Yeah, we'll just cut an island there, go for a 16 lander, and hop back into one of the most aggressive draft formats we have had, with one of the weaker archetypes for sure, but what looks like a powerful enough build to still have some legs to it. We'll see how far we can take it with this blue-red build today. Here we are on the play for game 1. We have double Batter Fist and Ichor Plate Golem, but no blue source and a double blue card in hand. It's quite awkward. You need to definitely draw the right cards for this one. I'm tempted to still keep it, starting the curve off with double Batter Fist, but I don't imagine that's right. I mean, double Batter Fist, Ichor Plate Golem, they play quite a few turns of the game. That's quite a few draw steps before we need blue. I don't know how I feel about this one, but I'm gambling. Right, this takes care of turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. It's not till turn 5 that we need to hit a single blue source, and if we manage to hit 2 blue sources by the end of the game, we have the strongest card in our entire deck in our hand. So, it's a risk I'm willing to take. And luckily enough, our first draw of the game was an island. Could not have asked for a better draw to start it off. Playing against Rakdos here. We've got a Furnace Skull Bomb down. Here comes a Hex Gold Slash on our buddy. Sure. Let's get the Ichor Plate Golem down. Be mana efficient, then I can go Batter Fist and Serum Snare next turn. They could spend 1 just to cycle that Skull Bomb away if they don't have anything relevant to play yet, and that is what they're going to do. They've got the Drown and Ichor for the Ichor Plate Golem. Fair enough. He died how he would want to, in the end. Drowning in what he loved. Charforger. Could bounce that to their hand to slow them down. I can also bounce our other Batter Fist to play another creature here. Could Blue Sun's Twilight the Charforger next turn. So I could also Serum Snare the 1/1. If I Serum Snare this Batter Fist, then this is now a 2-2 that can attack into a 1-1, and then I Twilight their 2-3. That is very aggressive. I'll be out of spells if I go for that, but... went in Phyrexia. Sounds fun to me. So I guess I was exaggerating when I said completely out of spells, because obviously putting the Batter Fist in hand means that we have a Batter Fist. Well, if I knew these were going to be the draws, I probably would have sat on the Twilight, waiting for 7. But we have weirdly drawn literally only lands this game. Okay. Well, at least our opponent doesn't have an astronomical amount of pressure either. What are the odds of 6 lands in a row in the 16-lander? Well, now they do have aggression. That Hexgold Halberd giving them first strike and trample lets them break through with one of their creatures each turn. So now we've got issues. There's Spell Dancer that gives us our own aggression, at least a tiny bit of it. I think they have enough creatures out here that it's definitely risky to send a 3-1 in, but trades are good for me with Charforger on the board. I mean, I just trade into a 1-1, so it's not even that good. Maybe just sending the 2-2 in is fine there. It's not ideal. Our first spell of the game, our first top-decked spell of the game is Mercurial Spell Dancer. Not a bad one, but certainly would have been much better earlier to get that damage in. Okay. Double block, they sack the Hive Master and the Might. Yeah, the Centurion can't get bigger than a 4-4 body. So I could just block with Charforger and a 2-2, and then I trade a 2-2 token. No, I trade a Charforger into the Centurion and their 1-1 token. And I don't love losing the Charforger, but I think it's the best we've got here. Okay. I mean that the one scrap trap with the halberd is gonna outrace us here. We can't find spells. If we find one instant or sorcery, we've got a great turn coming up. Okay, no, I misread this card. We have to cast 2 spells and then get the copy thing. Which some reason I thought it puts the counters on itself when it hits. Well, found another spell. Certainly nowhere near as many as our opponent. Our opponent has more spells in their graveyard than we've drawn all game. I guess they have the same amount, not more. It's not gonna be quite enough, is it? Go to 9 life. Yes, it will be barely. We are drawing some spells in the end here. It's getting a little closer than I thought it'd be. We survive this turn. When they attack too hard, they're dead. Yeah, if they send the flyers, then they're dead. Unless their last card on hand is removal. It's easy to forget because I've been using nothing but lifelink here, but Skitterfang can give flying, so we'll go for it. That's all we've got. Lucky game. We hit a big land clump early where our first, what was it? It was like 6 draws of the game were all lands. And then still quite a few after that. But then we went Skitterfang into Retrofitter into Malcator's Watcher. We hit like 3 spells in a row, and they were really important spells. I think Skitterfang was a huge, huge, huge one there. The Spell Dancer was our first draw of the game, our first non-land draw of the game. We drew a land after that, so it wasn't in like the big spell clump, but that was also quite important. Wow. I did not think we were getting there. Yeah, I was feeling real bad about throwing the Blue Sun's Twilight out early. I think, like, in my headspace there, I was like, well, this is a really aggressive set. I kept a 2-lander at the start, so I was still kind of playing under the assumption of, like, mana's going to be tight here. We should probably try to make the most of our mana as things go on, rather than trying to wait for a bunch of lands. But, I mean, we had 5 lands at the time, and then we hit a chunk in a row after that, so we definitely would have had the 5 mana on Twilight, so that is definitely arguably a mistake there. Certainly with hindsight, knowing that we draw a bunch of lands afterward, the game would have been much easier if we just waited on the Twilight. But luckily, the rest of the deck really shows up in force at the end, and we're 1-0 heading into Game 2. Here we are for Game 2. We got the Watcher into Retrofitter Wombo combo. There's a Hex Gold Slash as well for efficient removal. Just a solid looking opener for this format. Opponent takes a mulligan. This board was always kind of gross. obviously themed around like the white Phyrexian cards like Elishnorn and stuff. They have like the porcelain and the marble and everything. Just like the clean aesthetic marbling of everything. Mixed with like muscle and flesh right next to it. They were going for disturbing, and they certainly got there. Chimney Rebel is a great draw. Now we got a 2-3-4 curve. We're playing against Golgari, green and black. That is a toxic heavy color pair. So green and black, the different toxic decks in this set all differentiate themselves a little bit based on like what the powerful uncommons in that color pair can do. Obviously, all of the decks could poison you out, and they could do a little bit of proliferating at stuff. But green and black is the most focused on like poisoning you out. Their big signpost uncommons and some of their big uncommons and stuff are like really high toxic values, or whenever a toxic creature hits your opponent, it gets an additional poison counter. That's exactly this card. So all of their toxic values are up by 1. So this will give me 2 poison if it hits me. This will give me 3 poison if it hits me. So the green-black color pair is the one you have to be the most worried about getting poisoned out, I would say. Green-white has a bunch of stuff that like buffs your toxic creatures. Like it buffs their stat lines, not their poison counters. So your 2/2 toxic is now attacking as like a 3/3 or a 4/4. So it's like a deck where everything happens to have toxic, but can just like kill you with regular combat damage. It's interesting. And then black-white has a mechanic that cares about having 3 poison counters on an opponent's. I think trading Chimney Rabble into Hive Master would be profitable here just to make sure that it's not cracking back and hitting me. If I bounce off a Rot Priest, I bounce off a Rot Priest, but I'd like to offer the trade. And if they don't accept it, that's what the Goblin's for. If I get them used to blocking with Rot Priest, I might be able to Hex Gold slash it. But yeah, as I was saying, black-white is, once your opponents have 3 or more poison counters, then there's a bunch of cards that get a little better. They have a corrupted mechanic. There are other decks that can do poison stuff, but those are the big 3 kind of, with the most toxic creatures. Green, blue, and blue, black are more about proliferating a bunch of poison onto your opponent. Less toxic creature heavy, for sure. Well, they're at 10, so... They block Scamp, they're at 1 life. I think that's a send-all, then. Then I can save the oil counter on Scamp for a ping later. Boop that. And see what they can do. They got 1 last turn to stabilize. Cruel Grimnarch. That does not gain any life if we discard a card. So that will not save them. They are dead on board. Malcator's Watcher, Unctus's Retrofitter, build your own Sarah Angel on turn 3, and it attacks on turn 3, just completely steals that game. Really, really gnarly combo, and we're 2-0 heading into game 3. This is a phenomenal opener. Obviously, we do need to top deck a land, but we have Scamp into Spelldancer into Serum Snare, off of only the lands that we have in the opener alone. Crawling Chorus is quite good against Sawblade Scamp, but that's why it can also just ping. Playing against a white deck, they're going to start getting some Toxic off early with that Chorus. Jawbone Duelist. Ooh, the double striking Toxic creature as well? Okay. Yeah, our opponent on the play with a great curve out hand is certainly going to be scarier than us on the draw with one. Chrome Prowler could be very helpful here. I almost want to play Batter Fist over Spell Dancer because with Batter Fist I could Serum Snare the Fist and have a 2/2 blocker up out of nowhere and eat a 1/1. I guess that's what Chrome Prowler's doing on turn 3 anyway. I suppose I probably should play Spell Dancer then. Just ready to play Prowler or Raptor here as quickly as possible. We are officially corrupted. 4 poison for us. Duelist of Deep Fate is their play. If we hit land 4, I think that's where we're really happy to drop a Batter Fist and hold up a Snare. Till then, I think I'm on Prowler or Raptor. I think I need to try to stop literally all the damage this turn, so I'm going to go for Prowler over Raptor to shut off all their attacks. Blue-white. Was all this toxic? Alright. That was a little unexpected. But I suppose that's the thing about the white toxic creatures is most of them are just good stat lines even if you don't care about the poison. Ooh, 1 mana draw too since we're corrupted. Nice. And then Incisor Glider. Yep. Yep, that's the white kind of toxic creatures where they buff the whole board, make the regular damage even higher. Terrifying. Terrifying for sure. When this creature deals combat damage to a player, you may remove 2 oil counters from it. If you do, next time you cast an instant sorcery, you can double it. So, what if I just play double Batter Fist? And then we double Serum Snare them next turn? The Incisor Glider is going to do filthy, filthy things, but this can only copy instants and sorceries. So if I Serum Snare Glider now... Yeah, I don't think I like that. I mean, I could play Gataxian Raptor and have a 4 power flyer to try to trade into the Glider. I think I'm just setting up for as good of a Spell Dancer turn as possible. I just go Batter Fist, Batter Fist. The first strike and the double strike is gnarly here. Man, this is such a fast format, because the other thing we have to consider is, like, what about shooting for crackbacks? Because we have 12 power on this board. And they'll be at 12 after tapping Sawblade Scamp. We survive everybody coming in. So if they attack all, we just go take it, Serum Snare, whatever blocker they cast, and kill them. Don't attack with Incisor Glider, that's interesting. Okay. So they're just going all in on the poison damage here. We could trade Scamp into Chorus. Take 3 poison instead of 4. So that I don't die to, like, double Proliferate. But then they won't be dead next turn. We'll be 1 damage off lethal. I can't imagine they don't have something that impacts the board to play post-combat here, so I feel like they're not going to be dead next turn regardless. So I'm not going to be able to deal with 2 blockers. So I think I do take this trade with Chorus and stay a little safer, a little healthier. Make it take longer to proliferate us out. It's also a really good Serum Snare target if we want to go for the post-combat Serum Snare if they don't cast removal. So we can double snare. Interesting. Now I pray to everything in the universe they don't have instant speed removal here. Because if this Blue Sun's Twilight resolves copied, that will be game. I can't lethal them this turn regardless. So I should hold up at least one blocker if things go wrong with the Twilight. Should probably hold up 2 blockers. These 3/1s are way worse blockers than the 2 toughness card, because the 2 toughness card can actually trade with Duelist. Things go awry there. I'm gonna hold up double blocker here, because I think if the Twilight resolves, that we just super duper win, even if we don't push too much damage here. So I want to be safe in case this doesn't resolve. Alright, let's see if they can proliferate thrice. That's basically their only out now. They'd have to go instant speed proliferate, and the next turn draw a card, cast 2 separate proliferators. Ooh, double might token. Do they have double removal for that cheap? We might lose for sending in even a single 3/1 there. If they have 2 removal spells that cost 2 or less. Like if they have a Serum Snare. Oh my god. Now they just need the 1 2-mana removal spell. They can't proliferate off white, and they've already played land for turn, so I believe we should be fine here. But I could be wrong, we'll see. But yeah, they could have like Planar Disruption. 2 mana, enchant creature can't attack or block. Scary close game. These, I mean, as you can see from the 3 games we played, like, Phyrexia All Will Be One is just, like, hyperspeed stuff. Each player is, like, a turn from dying, often by the end of these. Close stuff, but we get the victory again. We are 3-0 heading into Game 4. Alright, here we are on the play for game number 4. Does feel good to be on the play in Phyrexia. All Will Be One. This is a very, very nice hand. The Malcator's Watcher actually doesn't do too much by itself. But the Eye of Malcator, this is a beautiful Eye of Malcator hand. We have a couple different combos for it. Where we can like tap down a blocker for it, or we can just like start giving it flying every turn with Skitter Fang. Okay. They're green-white, which does not have the most artifacts ever. If they miss on an artifact for Justiciar, then trading a Malcator's Watcher into it would be very, very good. I actually like these cards a lot. I think I have to ditch Golem at least, but Spell Dancer, I can go Spell Dancer plus Slash for a very good turn. Green, white, and black. Those are all the poison-y colors. You got a flash artifact here? No, we just get an excellent trade. Kill their creature and draw a card. We're up a card there. I was going to say, how did I just draw land? There's a Spell Dancer up top. It's because I just top-decked the Spell Dancer, thanks to Malcator's Washer. Beautiful stuff. Alright, that means I get to play an artifact creature this turn instead. Get my Eye of Malcator damage in. Sure. Kaboom. Pass. Planar Disruption, the Eye of Malcator. Fair enough. They respect the power of the eye. Poor Eye of Malcator was trying its hardest. It jumped into the fray, only to sit back down. Indoctrination Attendant. I do like that card quite a bit. It's got some fun synergies with any good enter the battlefield effects. You can pick them up and redo them. They just pick up a land here to get the might. Okay. I don't hate dropping a Mobilizer this turn over a Chimney Rabble so that we have the Spell Dancer set up for the Hexgold Slash, but also if I just top deck a land at any point, I'll be ready to do that. That said, like, Chimney Rabble's not good on the board against a 3-4 anyway, so... yeah, let's just start immobilizing. I'll hold off on it for a turn to shut off an attack plus a block from it. Because the fact that it has Toxic does mean the crackbacks are kind of worrisome. Now they have no blockers up. Might as well send in the Might. It would trade into the 3-1 and it doesn't do anything on blocks. Serum Snare's the draw. Double Serum Snare would be fun. I think I'm on double Hexgold Slash though, because I can play Raptor and double Hexgold Slash. But that snare is a future possibility. Orthodoxy Enforcer. I got bad news for that Enforcer. It's immobilized. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're 1 damage off. Well, Chimney Rabble will change that for us. This is well over lethal. And that is 10. 4-0 heading into game number 5. Alright, here we are on the draw for game number 5. We have a pretty good hand. We have the Retrofitter Wombo combo, which is really any 2-mana artifact into Retrofitter. As we've called the 2-mana 1/1 Flying Vigilance the Retrofitter Wombo combo. We've also called the Batterfist the Wombo combo. Those are both just excellent with it. Making a 4/4 Flying Vigilance start attacking on turn 3 is insane. Okay, well, that's one of the most insane rares in the whole set, and I'm gonna die now. Yeah, we don't have any removal. We just need to completely change gears now and just scry towards it. Anyways, like, Retrofitter Batterfist makes it so that on turn 3 you're attacking with a 2/2 and a 4/4. You have a 2/2, a 4/4, and a 2/3 on board. It is gnarly. It is very good, just like Watcher into Retrofitter, but neither hold a candle to a single Glissa, so we need to dig. Those are not it. We really need to find what Blue Sun Zenith to Steel Glissa might be our best bet. Otherwise, we kind of just get soloed. Obviously, a card we mentioned pretty heavily during the draft itself. We were as far away from Glissa as possible, and it was still, like, really worth mentioning because it was like, I mean, if there's any chance in the world. Probably do have to pivot onto that completely busted card. Okay, another island is not the worst draw in the world, considering it lets us play Theorist and dig farther, and it's the second blue if we do draw into Blue Sun Zenith. Play a 2-drop and a 3-drop next turn, I think. We'll do that. I'm going to get rid of Ichor Plate Golem here. Our deck doesn't have like a massive amount of synergy for it. So while we're digging for removal, while we're trying to find a way to deal with Glissa, we can do our best to race as much as we can. Get some lifelink going, get the big 4/4 Flying Vigilance going, all that good stuff. That's awkward. No more draw and discard for us. Our opponent's already got a 3-for-1 off Glissa. Hexgold Flash doesn't do it. She's got 3 toughness. We need Blue Sun Zenith or we need Tamiyo's Immobilizer. I actually think it's better for us to retrofit the Batterfist for an immediate swing rather than retrofitting the Watcher. Because the Watcher also gets to chump Glissa as the best chumper we have by far. And this gets us immediate damage versus waiting another turn to start poking with Watcher. And the Vigilance being irrelevant against First Strike and Death Touch as well. They have a second Titanic Growth here. Slash might be better than playing Watcher right now. I'm letting them get another hit on us if I do that, but yeah, we'll do it. Branchlight Stalker. Take the Glissa hit, they draw another card. Oh, Glissa can shut off Skitterfang. That's concerning. Okay, Serum Snare's big news. Serum Snare is big news here. I don't think I care about lifelink then. We just need to end this game ASAP. This way we can get Retrofitter in without worrying about them locking off our Batterfist. They're down to 4. Beginning of each combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control till end of turn. You got some nice bombs. Got some nice bombs, but you're also super dead. Crazy stuff. There were a lot of ways I could have played that to beat the Zopandrel. But that is how I'm going to do it there. 6 lifelink at this point. It doesn't matter. Alright. Scary game. Scary game, but when in doubt, get aggressive. That is the way. In Phyrexia, all will be one. That is 5-0 now, I believe, as we head into game number 6. Alright, here we are for game 6. Batterfist, Raptor, multiple different 4-drops to choose from. I think we keep this on the draw. It is some high mana value stuff, though. Pretty risky on the play, but on the draw we got quite a few draw steps before we need a land off the top, and there it is. Might go Eye of Malcator next turn. If I don't naturally draw land 4, I think I'll definitely go Eye of Malcator, scrying towards mana. Blue-red mirror match. Our opponent definitely on the more traditional blue-red deck than we are. The oil counter, non-creature spell synergy pile. Okay, land 4, super necessary. Keep that. Ditch the 1/1. Tamio is a mobilizer. So now he starts playing some Proliferate stuff, getting the full Ice Manipulator out of that. That'd be pretty strong. I expect Eye of Malcator to get tapped here, and then we're a little sad. None of my creatures are particularly good against Gitaxian Raptor. It is quite the roadblock. I suppose with a Hex Gold Slash in my hand, if I can put them in a position where they want to activate Raptor till it has 2 or less toughness, I get to kill it before it trades. Chimney Rabble makes that reasonably possible. Doesn't give me any attacks right now, though, so we don't get any counters off a Mobilizer either. I kind of am really in the market for playing an artifact right now. Yeah, we'll go Theorist. Play a Rabble and hold up a Hexgold Slash could be big here. Get a counter off a Mobilizer and pass. We're about to see some combat trick I don't remember at all. Oh, Blazing Crescendo? Yeah, I don't remember that spell at all. That's unfortunate. The only thing I could think of there was the Free From Flesh +2/+2 thing. Find a Retrofitter. To retrofit the Batterfist here for multiple 4/4s immediately. I think the immediate impact from Retrofitter is generally more important than long-term because it is such a lightning rod for removal, and there is plenty of good removal that can blow it up in red or bounce it in blue. So I'm not going to try to maximize like long-term Sarah Angel value this game. I'm just going to get immediate damage here. They're down to 16 now. Oh my god, Throbbing Bird is really good here. And there's the Volt Charge for the Retrofitter, yep. Yep, they are the Proliferate build. This is about to get real bad. That's aggressive. I actually hate that. Makes the Raptor significantly worse on future blocks. I guess with double synthesizer out. Yeah, the immobilizer's been absolutely the MVP here. It's just gonna stop so much of our damage as it has been doing that we can't really outrace here. The double synthesizer. Hey. Don't mind that too bad at all. That Raptor's such a big blocker here. I might just go Chrome Prowler. I think we do. Their last card in hand is more interaction. We are pretty dead. This is the best bet we've got. Tap one, blow up the other. They got 8 damage in the sky. Or 8 unblockable damage. 9 off of Batter Fist. So yeah, if they can... I guess they'd have to blow up those blockers. Still. Five to 10. They still have a counter on Immobilizer. Looks like we're not dead this turn. So we get one final swing. I don't think we can get there. They have essentially 4 blockers up, 3 and an Immobilizer. So they stop. Yeah, we don't get there. Yeah, Immobilizer 100% MVP. They shut off Prowler, Batterfist, Rabble here. Those are their 4 blocks. They just take 1 and then we die. Next turn. Could top deck like Blue Sun Zenith or something for a chance, I guess. So we dig. But I guess even that's not enough. Doesn't give haste or anything. Just a land. Regardless, incredibly close game of Magic, but a mobilizer just dances over our corpse. That is 5-1 heading into game number 7. Here we are on the play for game number 7. Pretty great start here. We have 1 of each of our colors, and almost all 2-mana spells in the hand, so no matter what we draw, we have plenty of stuff to cast. Let's get started with Spell Dancer. And cast a bunch of non-creature creature spells, so we can be impacting the board and charging up the Spell Dancer at the same time. Towards a double Serum Snare as quickly as possible. Leonin Lightbringer, the ward is definitely good. Offer the trade here, drop a Malcator's Watcher, I believe. Boros is a very fun deck. As I said earlier, it's pretty equipment-centric, but all the equipment come with creatures attached to them, like the Job Select decks in Final Fantasy most recently. Need mana pretty bad. I don't mind cycling the Watcher off right now. There we go. There's mana. They're down to 8 now. Tell you what I'm worried about right now that has been a deceptively good card in the set. One of the cards that looked really weak initially, but happens to play great here is I forgot the name of it, but it's a red and 3 for a sorcery. It deals 1 to all creatures your opponents control, and they can't block that turn. That card was gnarly in a set this aggressive, where everybody's playing to the board so quickly. Wow, that's a draw. Don't believe it's just lethal. If I had 3 islands, I think I could win right now. Because then I could cast Serum Snare and then Twilight for 0 doubled. Or I guess I wouldn't need to double it, I just need to cast both and get those out of the way before attacks. What do I do instead here? Go Sawblade Scamp, Serum Snare. They block there, take 5 there at 3. Can't lethal. I think it's gonna be Scamp first for sure. I'm gonna pre-combat Snare, and then I can also move Batterfist. I don't think I need to. But I'm tempted to give lifelink instead of flying is the thing. In which case the trade is not great. I got 6 on the crackback. I'll have 1 blocker up. I mean, I guess they're forced to jump, so we might as well send in the 3. See if they can find a way to deal 11 here. Throw a possibility, do some digging. Right, we are 6-1, heading into game number 8. This will be the final boss, but we've got 2 rounds in the chamber here. We got a 1-up in the back pocket. All right, here we are for what could be the final game of Magic for today. We're 6-1 here in our Phyrexia All Will Be One draft. We've got the orange peeling scamp right here to play on turn 1 and the rabble on 4 with the Hex Gold Slash in the middle. We do need to draw a blue source in the middle somewhere, and we need to hit lands for this hand, so it has risk for sure. Only 1 castable threats initially. Even if we hit Retrofitter Mana, we actually don't have an artifact for it. We actually have to mold a 6 on that one. This is a worse hand, but Axiom Engraver can do its job trying to get to all these 4-drops. I think I keep mono red 4-drops as the hand. Just start engraving ASAP. Three out of 4 mana now. And we have the blue source for anything that we top deck. We do have 1 double blue card in the deck. If we draw Blue Scene Zenith, then we'll be sad. I mean, I don't know if I'd say sad, but it would be a little awkward for now. Very powerful in the future. Playing against Boros, there's Axiom Engraver of their own, and that's the 4 mana we need, so I'm just not discarding any of these, because we know what we're doing these next 3 turns. Bladehold Warwhip. Incredible card. This is one of my favorite uncommons. Drafted it a ton. 2/2 double striker for 3, and you can just move the equipment around later and get your double strike elsewhere. It also makes all of your re-equips cheaper. Really great card for Boros. Transplant Theorist is the draw. Alright, well, Splitter's terrible against double strike, so we'll lead with the Chimney Rabbles. Start doing some pokes. Take the trade, alright. Cool with me. I get to keep my 1/1 left behind, they get to keep their re-equip for later left behind, but it's a pretty expensive re-equip. Indoctrination Attendant. Ah, yeah. That's the Wombo combo there. That's what I loved so much about Indoctrination Attendant. Playing it in the 4 Mirrored Index was absurd. Okay. Yep, and the 3/3 body doesn't line up well into it. As a whole, is going really badly. Splitter's good against Attendant, but terrible once they recast the whip. Just play the Theorist. Looking for one of our Hex Gold Slashes for the Attendant. I mean, Hex Gold Slash looks really good in this matchup. It can blow up the Attendant or it can blow up the Whip tokens as well. Not mind a Serum Snare against the War Whip. This might end up being our slowest matchup of the day, the way these blockers are going to start lining up. Our one game that was not almost entirely pure aggro. Yep, whip is back. There's a Scamp too. Does damage equal to its power to any target when it dies. So if they have another equipment like Volshock Splitter or something later, that could be pretty bad for us. I don't need to just instantly Serum Snare here. Because it's not like I'm going to get any damage in by doing that anyway. Let's just keep making the board bigger for now. The biggest worry in this kind of matchup is that they are... I think more mana is still relevant here because at 6 mana I can double spell. Yeah, I'm going to play this out. They are a red deck, so they could have the, I think it's called Hazardous Bombardment, something like that. That's 3 in a red, just makes it so we literally can't block for the turn. So we could just get in a stalemate that's long enough to where eventually they have 20 power on board, and then they're just like, okay, boop, attack for 20, that's game. No blocks this turn. Even if it doesn't get to that point, what's so powerful about the card is like it's still going to kill like both of our 1/1 tokens and deal like 10 damage to us already, which is obviously still quite bad. They have another Indoctrination Attendant? Yikes. Just Team Serum Snare will take a little bit of damage. You know, I can go Splitter plus Serum Snare. No draw discard value, but that's fine. I'll have 3 oil counters on the Engraver for later. Any turn that I miss a relevant draw. Start attack with a bunch of stuff that has at least 4 power. Slowly whittling the board down. Yeah, it's gonna be a long game. I imagine we both have at least one spell in our deck that'll immediately end things, so I think it's pretty much just the top deck war at this point. Do they find a hazardous bombardment first? I swear I can speak. Or do I get really lucky and find the blue sun zenith first? Blocking there, because then if they have like the 1-mana deal 2 in their hand, it gives them the opportunity to cast it at the wrong time and cast it pre-first strike damage. They actually have enough creatures on board. I don't know if I can even send in the 4-2, even though it technically trades with something at worse. There's just so many somethings over there that the crackbacks are getting a little nerve-wracking. I think I'm passing here. Start activating theorists. If somehow no one finds a way to break through the board, then they will mill out first, thanks to theorist's ability. Incisor Glider. It's a good thing we are not corrupted, and are pretty unlikely to get corrupted at this point. So I will not be able to buff the whole board for extra damage. We don't have a particularly good board for Retrofitter right now. I guess I just use it on the splitter anyway, right? Oh, well, there we go. That's better. Guess I miss out on draw discard if I drop it immediately. Yeah, I mean, neither are enough to get us attacking, so we can play it slowly. Maximize the amount of digging we're getting out of Theorist towards Blue Sun Zenith. Man, that Exuberant Fuseling is going to get really scary. Because it's going to get bigger whenever one of their cards dies. And then obviously having the Double Strike card for it. If they get that up to like 10 and then throw Double Strike on it, that could just kill us. They actually kind of do already have very slow way to win this game, but a way to win the game regardless. Every trade just putting them closer and closer. Well, that is tremendously good. They do not have removal. You know what? I'm not holding up my mana at instant speed for anything. I'm just gonna re-equip now. Oh, it doesn't even work. Shame. I'm used to the equipment creatures from Kamigawa, the reconfigure cards, where they gave them their own rulings so that they do work as equipment, and then just fall off as creatures when they're done. It's a shame they don't automatically work that way, so I can't actually buff the Spell Dancer. That's a bummer then. Makes it significantly less good. Might just be chump attacking with Retrofitter then, which is hilarious. That's what we needed right there. So what is the game plan with this, though? Yes, I can steal one of their cards and get a bonus copy. I steal Indoctrination Attendant, and the copy gives me an ETB again to pick up another one of my cards. Pick up the Retrofitter so the splitter falls off. Oh my god, no, the game plan is to wait till we hit any other non-creature spell for Mercurial Spelldancer, and then we double Twilight? Yeah, okay, we wait till we hit another spell alongside it to get the second counter on Spelldancer first. If we can. If I have to wait that long, I might send in that Retrofitter Chump Attack. Trying to move Splitter. It's probably safer to not. I mean, it's definitely safer than not. But the question is, should I just be pushing more damage instead of being safe? So if I get Retrofitter killed, then Splitter onto Spelldancer could be like a 3-turn clock at 5 power. Or no, it'd be 4 power, so like a 4-turn clock from when they're 16 life. We get to chump with Retrofitter? Nope. They've just made an Uber blocker. Okay. Sadness. Ooh, a non-creature spell, baby. Double blue, and 1, 2, 3, 4 is what I have up, so I actually do want to draw a land. Post Eye of Malcator. All right. They have one final turn to kill the Spell Dancer. Or we're gonna double Blue Sun's Twilight and really end this. If they had removal to kill it, they would have done it already. So the top deck from here. Is there like a +X+O trample in red in this set? That could get us killed. That would be tragic. I mean, if they got something like that, they got that. I don't remember that, though. I remember it in green. Thank goodness. It's not a kill on the Spell Dancer. Time to end this. What an incredible ending to this. Draft as a whole. The Spell Dancer Blue Sun Zenith. Sweet Jesus. All right, that's pretty good. There's the concession from our opponent. Long game of Magic to end it off after all those really close aggro games. We get just one big old board stall to wrap it up, but a great return to Phyrexia All Will Be One, taking one of the weaker archetypes in the set, one of the weaker color pairs, and just running with it off of some powerful rares and seeing how open the colors were. Now, red is actually a pretty powerful color. It's one of the best colors in the set for sure. Red, green, and red, white being excellent, excellent decks. But blue individually at the common and uncommon power level certainly lags behind a bit. But we got that pack one, pick one Spell Dancer. We saw plenty of solid blue going late, as well as that Blue Sun's Twilight that I believe was passed to us at some points. So even if blue is the weakest color, if you've got some really strong reasons to be in that color, every color is playable in this set in the right situation. Again, this deck was kind of just pure aggro stuff, not a whole ton of incredibly focused synergies, certainly not really doing the blue-red oil thing or the blue-red spells thing as much as you would think, but we have a little bit of that going on with Spell Dancer and a little bit of an artifact synergy going on with cards like Eye of Malcator and Unctus's Retrofitter. Just finding our best individually powerful cards and making sure to have a couple ways to synergize with them so that we could, you know, get Malcator's Watcher into Retrofitter plays, Batterfist into Retrofitter plays, and of course, enough spells to occasionally get a double spell off the Spell Dancer, be that like a double Hexgold Slash like we got one game, or the way that we ended the whole draft, a ridiculous wombo combo, a double 7-mana Blue Sun's Twilight to steal their best 2 cards and get 2 additional copies of them. Absolutely gnarly way to end the draft. So that is going to be the full 2,200 gems and 6 packs for the prize out in this draft. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for supporting the channel, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below, and if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.